In this video, I'm going to be telling you about how to get into archery. That's what this video is about. This video is a kind of a combination of an audio lecture, so hence why I'm talking over the video, and also some video footage of me and my girlfriend Coco, our first time at an archery range. So keep watching if you want to get into archery. Well, the reason that we got into archery is because I used to play paintball, and I didn't want to play that anymore, but I still enjoyed shooting sports. And I didn't and still don't have a firearms license. Archery was the decision we made. So if you've made the decision that you want to get into archery for whatever reasons, maybe you've seen Katniss Everdeen on the Hunger Games, and you think that that's something that you want to do, you need to start looking for a local archery club. So that means you hit Google. When you find a local archery club, you need to make contact with them. Maybe that's email, maybe that's phone, and try to attend a beginner's course. Usually archery clubs have a beginner's course. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is a beginner's course, and this particular video is the instructor, I think he's like the club organizer, a guy named Lee, and he's instructing my girlfriend Coco on shooting. So when you first arrive at an archery club, you're going to pretty much dive almost straight into what you're seeing here on the screen. Although before this you're probably going to have safety rules. You'll get like a lecture or a briefing or something on safety rules. And those safety rules are going to be things like bows down when collecting arrows from the targets, or bows, you lay the barrel of the bow against the target whilst collecting arrows. It's just a safety thing that, you know, people actually have to stop shooting. You know, you have designated shooting zones, designated non-shooting zones. Never knock an arrow while, unless you're about to fire it. Never point the arrow at another club member. Stuff like that. So there will be a safety briefing, stuff like that. And we've actually been to 2 archery clubs, you know, and the rules are very similar. So you'll have a safety briefing, and then you'll jump into what you're seeing here, which is probably some basic 2D archery shooting. So the 2D archery shooting you're seeing right here, this is me just shooting at some 2D targets about 10 or 15 meters away. Now some basics on how to fire a bow. So you're going to learn how to load up the bow, how to shoot the bow. The feet are going to be placed usually perpendicular to the target. So the feet and the body are not facing towards the target. They're facing sort of 90 degrees away. Your lead arm, you know, usually like your left hand, you know, is going to hold the bow out. Your right arm is going to pull it back, and the string is going to come basically all the way up and usually touch your cheek or your jaw or your nose, your jaw. That's called your anchor point, and your anchor point is critically important in learning to shoot a bow, because in order for you to be consistent and draw the bowstring to exactly the same point each time, you must have that anchor point. And as you're seeing on the video right now, I'm fumbling, and you will fumble until you get the hang of it. Sometimes the fumbling is actually caused by, you know, equipment that's been used a bit too much and it's not the highest quality. And right now what you're seeing is Lee observing Coco and her shooting stance. And whilst we're looking at Coco from this angle, you know, it's important to note a couple of things. Note the position of the feet. They're not facing towards the target. The body is not facing towards the target. It's 90 degrees away.
Hey, you're hitting the target now.
And there must be what's called correct bone alignment, and these are the bones in your left arm, your right arm, and your back. So your left arm is generally straight. I could do a whole video about that, and in fact there's a really good guy who does these videos called Nu Sensei. He's an Australian guy. He's a Vietnamese guy that lives in Australia. Nu Sensei. If you want to learn more specific stuff about archery videos, check out his channel. So you've got to have a correct alignment, you know, in your back, in your left arm and your right arm, and you can see Lee is adjusting Coco's position right there. So essentially that is your shooting form, and your shooting form is going to be the bread and butter of what you're going to experience on your first day of shooting. So your first day of shooting, you know, they're not generally going to take on a lot of people. They're going to take on 5 people, 10 people, something like that. This particular archery club, the Canterbury Archery Society, located in Taitap, just south of Christchurch, they only take on sort of 5 to 10 people per month, and they only have, you know, 1 introductory session per month. Now, after you've completed your initial day at an archery range, so I'm sort of jumping ahead a little bit here. You know, there will be sort of the sales pitch. They don't give you like the hard sales pitch because they know that archery is not like a mainstream sport. So the sales pitch is going to be, you know, to join our club, it's going to cost you this much. You know, and these are the expectations. The expectations, what that means is that, you know, when you come, you basically must follow the rules, stuff like that. And the rules will basically have already been explained to you, chances are, in the safety briefing. Archery clubs, they do vary a bit in price in terms of annual membership, because basically you'll have an annual membership and you'll have a green fee, you know, or a field fee, whatever it is that they call it. You know, that's a fee that you pay each time you go. So the annual membership fee for archery clubs, the cheaper ones tend to be maybe $100 a year, and then they go up to probably $400 a year. At least that's my experience locally. And if you like what you experience during your first time, you're going to want to go out and buy a bow. And chances are the people in the archery club are going to tell you, don't buy a bow. Don't buy a bow straight away, at least. And I recommend doing that, following that advice, because it's going to take you a few times of shooting different bows till you really find the right one for you. This is of critical importance because a lot of people get what's called being overbowed, which means that they actually pick out a bow that's way too heavy for them. It's more important, if you're going to do any kind of target archery, to actually be able to hit the target and get reasonable groupings. And if you choose a bow that is too heavy for you, the poundage is too big for the muscles in your back, and you simply can't aim steadily enough with it, you will have poor accuracy, poor performance, and you won't want to do archery again, and it'll be your own stupid fault because you rushed out and bought a bow. So don't rush into buying a bow. The things you want to buy instead are the lower cost things like your shooting glove, your arm guard, your quiver. You know, you can see that in this video I've got a belt and I've got the quiver there. So all those items, those are lower cost things that you can buy before you even touch a bow. And I must stress this again, do not buy a bow that is too powerful for you. Most adults, when they're beginning archery, just starting out, are only going to use maybe a 20 or a 25 pound bow. So just because you see bows out there that are 40 or 50 pounds, you know, or your mate claims to be able to shoot a 40 or 50 pound with no problem, there is more to it than that. It also depends on what style of bow, a recurve bow or a compound bow. Compound bows are easier to shoot. They simply are, because they have that, you know, kind of, I don't know what the system is, like lever wheel system, that it's called a let off. It actually takes some of the poundage off of the bow, and it's physically easier to shoot. Not the case with the recurve. I actually shoot a 35 pound recurve, and even then on some days I find it's a bit too powerful for me, and I'm actually considering going down to a 30 pound. So lastly, just finishing off this video, we're seeing a bit of 3D archery, and this is target shooting at a moving target. And the 3D archery clubs where you shoot at kind of like animals, they're like models of animals. This one is like a flying pig made out of foam rubber. They're fun too. You know, if you've got a 3D archery club, you know, I enjoy those ones too. I recommend those ones too. So we're about to wrap up the video now. I could go on forever and ever and ever and ever, but if you're after specific archery stuff, I recommend New Sensei's channel.
I hit the top edge.
He does good archery videos. But if you like travel and adventure videos, then yeah, like this video, leave a comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching.